What?
You're interviewing me.
Oh, yeah. This is, my mommy. And we're going to talk about her job.
Okay.
What is your job, Mommy?
I am the Associate Director of Ticketing and Patron Services for Atlanta Ballet.
How much do you like your job?
To be honest, it depends on the day. Some days are really stressful and really hard at work, and some days are awesome and I really love what I do. Mostly I love my job because I really love ballet and I get to be around it all the time.
So, do you do a good or a service?
That's a good question. It's a little bit of both, honestly. I sell tickets, and technically tickets are a good. So if someone buys a ticket from me, I take their money and I hand them a ticket. But the ticket actually represents a seat in the theater for the ballet they want to see. So it's also kind of a service.
How did you choose your job?
How
do you choose your job?
That's a good question. To be honest, it wasn't my original choice of job. Originally, I wanted to be a musician, a singer-songwriter. And in order to make money while I was doing that, I started working for the Atlanta Opera as a receptionist and then selling tickets. And I really liked selling tickets, so I kept doing it. And then I left the Atlanta Opera and started selling tickets for Atlanta Ballet.
And, how did you feel about that job?
Which one?
Like, how did you feel about either one of them? Like, you can talk about both. You can talk about the opera. You can talk about the ballet. Which one do you like best? Or how do you feel about those jobs?
Well, like I said, there are good days and bad days in any job. And I think that would happen even if I were a musician. Sometimes I would really love it, and sometimes I would think it was really hard.
Like if people didn't listen to you and ignored you and did what you didn't say.
That's exactly right.
Like that would be upsetting and kind of confusing. Like maybe they were patting their drum while you were talking, or maybe they were crashing and banging and talking while you were speaking to them, telling them the instructions.
It's like that sometimes at work.
And
sometimes
then
I have to go to meetings and I have ideas and people don't like my ideas. So,
like when they got another boss and you didn't like it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens too. I work with a lot of different people, and obviously whenever you have a lot of different people in the same place, sometimes you get along with everybody and sometimes you don't. You know all about that from being in a class at school, right?
Yep.
It's like that.
And Mommy?
Yes, honey.
I have another question.
What's your question?
Like, do you miss being at home, or like, are you okay with like your job with being without us?
Again, a little bit of both. I really miss you guys when I'm at work. Yeah, so to answer your question, sometimes I wish I didn't have to work so much so that I could spend more time with you guys. But at the same time, I really do like my job most of the time. Today I had a bad day, so I'm not really feeling that great about my job. But most of the time, I really enjoy my job. And the reason for that is because I love the ballet so much. Like, you remember when you went with me to see the Nutcracker?
Yeah.
And you remember how there were all those people in the theater and they were all there to see the Nutcracker?
Yeah.
Well, I helped make that happen because I sold their tickets. So that made me feel really good.
And how do you feel about the opera? Like,
I still love the opera too. I really love opera. You haven't been to see an opera yet, but when you're a little bit older, I'm going to take you to see one. Because you know how in ballet there's lots of dancing? Yeah. Well, in opera, it's all singing. It's all music, the whole thing. Like nobody talks. Instead of talking, they sing all of their lines. So it's like a play, except the whole thing is singing. And you know what else? The singers don't have microphones. They actually sing loud enough to fill the whole theater, and you can hear everything. It's amazing. And
Like-
there's a whole orchestra too.
Like this. Oh, and by the way, audience, you kind of might want to plug your ears a little bit. Like that?
Like that, only much better.
Do you wish you could be working at home sometimes?
Well, every once in a while I do work at home. Like if you or Huck are sick, then I can work at home. But the problem with my job is it's hard to work from home because I'm in customer service. So if somebody comes to the box office to buy a ticket, there has to be somebody there to help them. So that's why I don't work from home very often.